Could happen. We've got the most updated news just for you right here in this video coming from the Hill that has given us updated information about two checks coming this month for seniors. Yes, we've got a ton of information right here in this video. It is loaded with information all the way to the end. Make sure to stick around because we've got some great news for you. Some big news, guys. You're not going to want to miss this. We've got a ton of information right here for you. It is a Saturday night, and I hope that you guys are doing great. I hope that you're having a wonderful night. I hope you've had a great weekend so far. We've got several things that are happening, several things to talk about. There's been a lot of things happen. For some of you guys that watched the earlier show with Joel, there's a lot of things that took place there from the Trump rally and different things that happened. But this is your one-stop shop for all news, even with stimulus, Social Security. We're also going to keep you updated about big, important things that affect daily Americans every single day. But we want to show you guys this right here on the screen so that way you can see. Good Saturday evening. Welcome back to the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know that it's our job to make sure we keep you fully updated on all the news and information. We are going on a vacation tomorrow to Florida. So tomorrow night, it might be me and Joel coming together to bring you this news from Destin, Florida. So it's kind of one of the things where we all kind of take our little annual family vacation, and we go down there, and we're going to be bringing you some news. And Darlene, we have this thing called the Strawberry Festival. If you look it up, it's Portland, Tennessee. We've been a part of it for so many years and actually do anything in it, but we actually go and we we watch the parade. They've got a lot of vendors and a lot of booths and a lot of businesses that come out, and it's so cool. They do a parade, then they have a little carnival, and so it was really cool. Z-Man rode his first roller coaster. He's 3 today. He rode his very first roller coaster with his aunt, and it was awesome, guys. It was pretty cool. He didn't want to get off. He was just ecstatic, over the moon. Fried Oreos, you guys know where you go to these things and pay way too much money. Well, we got very little. We didn't spend a whole lot of money, but what we did spend, it was quite a bit. I think it was like, I take that back. $6 for a cup of lemonade. We got one for me and my wife, and then we didn't eat there because it's way too expensive. We got funnel cakes that were $6 a piece. So not too bad. But guys, we came back. We just got home. We've done our research, and we found this news that says right here from the Hill, you may get an extra Social Security payment this month, and here's why. Again, we do our job to make sure you're updated on all this news and things that's happening. So just like some will get an extra paycheck in May, some Social Security recipients will get 2 checks this month. Now, listen, guys, I'm with you. I think you should get 2-3 checks every single month, but that's just me. It's all about the quirks of Social Security from the administration payment schedule, where sometimes, there's 2 supplemental security income checks that will go out in a month instead of the normal one. But May happens to be the first of 3 double payment months of 2024. It's really going to depend on how things kind of unfold, because you may get an extra Social Security payment this month. This is what the Hill is saying, and what they're saying is there's been a lot of this talk and things that, hey, this very well could happen. So as we continue, it is because Social Security payments are always sent out on the first day of the month. If that first day lands on a weekend or holiday, that payment goes out the prior business day. Since June 1st is a Saturday, and the SSI will get their payment on the last day of May, the regular payment will come on July 1st. So again, it's something that could happen, that can happen, like it says right here. You may get an extra Social Security payment this month. Now, I don't know about you guys, but definitely I'm going to ask you right here in the comments, have a little community post. Do you agree? You agree that seniors should get 2 checks every month? Yes, Definitely no. And let us know, guys, down in the comments below. Again, you may get an extra Social Security payment this month, and here's why. And going into the information, just like some will get an extra paycheck in May, some Social Security recipients will get 2 checks this month. Right there on the screen. It's all about because of the quirk in the Social Security Administration payment schedule. A few times a year, this is where the checks will go out in a month instead of just usually getting one. Now, we come across some very, very big news, and literally, this just happened 2 days ago, and guys, you might want to take a watch.
What was once an affordable way of living is now in jeopardy.
Some mobile home owners tell us the lot increases are pricing them out of their homes and preventing them from selling them too. Investigator Louis Bolden is working this one and joins us in studio.
Since the pandemic, it seems the price of everything has increased, including what it could live in a mobile home. Lawmakers just passed a measure that is supposed to give mobile home owners more rights. The question is it enough? How long has your house been on the market?
Over 2 years.
Debbie Powell says she's been trying to sell her home in the Falls at Ormond Beach Mobile Home Park for over 2 years, but no takers. She says the $1,100 per month in lot rent is the problem, and the increases that are still coming.
The person who goes to buy my house will be paying a minimum of $1,300. So as soon as you talk about that with the potential buyer, they don't want to talk to you anymore.
What are you paying for lot rent now?
$1,500 a month.
Dawn Augsbury says her lot rent has increased $500 in 3 years.
I would be homeless if it wasn't for my best friend. My friend of 30-some years, she pays my rent. She pays for my food if I can't.
About 400,000 Floridians live in mobile homes across the state, and there are about 3,500 parks. In some, you own the house and the land, but in others, you lease the land. Lawmakers say the increases are happening statewide.
The lot rent increase jumping so high all of a sudden, they just cannot keep up with the rents.
State Representative Paula Stark has heard the stories from her constituents and helped draft House Bill 613, mobile home lot tenancies. Does the bill do enough?
No.
The governor signed House Bill 613 into law last week, and here's what it does. It allows mobile home park owners and homeowners in a dispute related to lot rental increases to select a mediator and initiate mediation proceedings. Under the law, a civil action cannot be initiated unless the dispute has been submitted to mediation. Stark says it does not cap lot rent increases, but it's a start.
These people have had no voice, had no way to, fight back a little bit if they thought the rate increases were extraordinary. So this gives them that opportunity to mediate that.
At Colony Park Mobile Home Village in Osceola County, Valerie Hills says it's happening to her too. She hopes the legislation will help.
It's definitely making it tougher to live because it's taking almost everything we have to pay that lot rent.
The new law takes effect July 1st. Getting results, I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
What are some people supposed to do, guys? Like, what are they supposed to do?
One age group is being hit the worst when it comes to struggling to put food on the table, and that's our seniors.
Team 12's Jen Wall joining us live from Mesa. Jen, talk us through what you've been learning this morning.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. So I've been meeting with different senior groups here around the valley over the last couple of weeks, and folks here in Mesa that work and serve at the Mesa Community Center for the Senior Center say they're seeing that same national trend right here in the valley, seniors struggling to put healthy food on the table.
Okay, you put some in too then, huh?
As soon as you go inside Mesa's Astor Senior Center, it's hard to miss this inseparable pair.
Really?
Fran and Izzy Anderson, friends and center volunteers.
Hey, David.
Spending their days together welcoming new and old friends at their senior center.
Eat here every day, and that's how they have their friends,
Friends who dance, lift weights, or finish a puzzle together. But behind these simple activities, many face a more complex problem.
A lot of them say that this is the only meal that they have for that day.
A lot of people, some have come here that live in their vehicles.
A recent report from the Agriculture Department finding rates of food insecurity increasing for seniors living alone from 2020 to 2021. Here in Mesa, Astor Aging CEO Deborah Schaus says the center serves 5,000 adults every year.
Because of inflation and trying to make ends meet on a fixed income, even more seniors are coming to us for assistance.
The Anderson volunteers adding even when seniors can't quite scrounge up the cash.
They may put in $1. Some won't put in anything, but that's okay too.
Yeah, but then I notice next time around, they'll come in and they'll give a little extra.
A simple gesture going a long way. The same kind you'll find here at the front desk from this pair.
This place is beneficial in more ways than one.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to socialize and interact with other people and, you know, have their healthy meal. And
Yeah, so many benefits here at the Mesa Senior Center, serving a lot of seniors every year. They can still use volunteers. You can go to astoraging.org to find out how to get involved. They even have a senior pet program where you can help feed the pets of seniors. A lot of opportunities, guys. They are supported by the Older Americans Act here and a lot of other local groups. Really great work being done. For now, we're live in Mesa. Jen Wall, 12 News Today in AZ.
And it is something about because so many people are struggling.
Condo owners in Florida may have to dig deeper in their pockets to pay their HOA fees and special assessments now because of a new state law designed to make condominiums more resilient to the Surfside condo collapse. That's expected to kick in before the end of the year and cost condo owners money. Angela Rozier, live in Stewart tonight, after talking with some condo association presidents who plan to address the higher costs tonight. Ange?
Todd, you know, I talked to those board members and they say that they just want state lawmakers to listen to their concerns or at least try and make some changes or push back that start date so they can have more time to figure this all out.
They walked around, they looked at everything here.
Michael O'Connor is telling me about the reserve study conducted by engineers here at the Harborage condo community in Stewart.
In the reserve study, it just takes a walk around by a licensed engineer to look around and come up with a number.
New regulations are now in place after the collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside back in 2021. Associations are now required to go through a stringent inspection process to check for any structural deficiencies.
Took the golf club up the stucco and says it sounds hollow.
O'Connor and fellow board member Mario Marino understand the need for safety, but say the process is costly.
For a building of 9 condominiums, they were recommending, the engineering company is recommending $3,000 a month increase for the condominium as a reserve just for roofs and painting and waterproofing.
Marino believes the description of the bill is just too vague.
Since the engineering companies are basically covering their own backside, our problem is that they could put in anything they want and say anything they want for prices. And we have prices that are 3 times the amount of the actual cost that it took us to get it done.
They plan to share the concerns with lawmakers tonight.
We're asking for a spirited conversation tonight to take into consideration our concerns. That's all we're asking for.
And they also shared with me their PowerPoint that they will present tonight. That meeting starts at 6:30 and it will take place at the Flagler Center right here in Stewart. Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
It's a lot to think about, guys.
At 6 to an I-team investigation into a growing trend forcing Florida seniors from their homes.
Dozens of residents at a Pinellas County Senior Center told to move out within 45 days. And new tonight, our Walser is finding out why.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at the sky.
Just before sunset, Diane Alloy admires the million-dollar view at Alonce at Pasadena, the assisted living facility she's called home since December. But Diane isn't a millionaire, and she's not going to be seeing that view much longer.
What was it like to get that letter?
Oh, it was like a punch in the stomach.
Diane and about 4 dozen other residents received a 45-day notice of discharge in early May, saying the community will not accept Medicaid as a payment option as of June 22nd.
Very definitely going to miss it.
When Diane moved into the fountains at Boca Ciega, Medicaid paid for a portion of her care, since she needs assistance with daily living tasks.
I got the key. Okay, we're going upstairs.
Diane liked the fountain so much she convinced her sister Betty, a full-paying resident, to move in just 3 weeks before the notice went out.
This is home sweet home. We're just finished unpacking all these boxes. Now we're packing again.
Both are moving to another assisted living facility that does accept Medicaid, but doesn't have $1 million waterfront view.
We both have health problems, and we're doing the best that we can to get boxes. Now we got to pack everything.
We have a nice view.
Karen Chenard and her 86-year-old mother are also trying to find a new home.
Is the reason why we moved here was because my mom just wanted to live somewhere where she could see the water. I'm sorry.
Karen receives Medicaid assistance, but her mother is full pay.
It feels awful. It's like I feel like I don't belong.
Like you did something wrong.
Did something wrong, and I don't have enough money in my bank to live somewhere nice.
This press release describes Alance as a new luxury brand created as a joint partnership between Retirement Unlimited Incorporated and Welltower, the world's largest healthcare real estate investment trust, which owns nearly 1,900 properties valued at $200 billion. According to the press release, Alance would offer a lifestyle that residents have earned and deserve.
And that's a case-by-case basis.
Residents say the company held 3 recent town hall meetings.
Everything's going to be wonderful. You know, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And if you have any ideas, let us know and blah, blah. But in the next day, we get the letter.
More than 4 million Americans have some form of long-term care paid for by Medicaid. Most are in nursing homes where federal law prohibits evictions.
They want to make this a luxury resort, and that costs money. And they want the people that are paying $5,000, the rich people.
For them, yeah, it's about profit.
It'd be, I suspect, a real challenge for folks to find something that they can afford.
Florida AARP Director Jeff Johnson says evictions among seniors are becoming more common as rents rise.
And to be able to pick up and move somewhere else is hard for anybody, but particularly for somebody who's got the sorts of challenges that often go along with living in assisted living.
Johnson says Florida lawmakers approved the Live Local Act this year, which he says is the state's largest investment ever in affordable housing and will eventually enable people to stay in their communities as they age.
I don't see any real slowdown in people moving to Florida, and we certainly don't expect any slowdown in people aging. So I suspect that we're going to be dealing with these challenges for quite some time.
Diane and Betty are now reluctantly finalizing their move.
Did you think this could happen to you?
No, I told everybody I am moving from here when the coroner takes me out.
We reached out to Alance at Pasadena, Welltower in Ohio, and Retirement Unlimited in Virginia. Retirement Unlimited responded and issued a statement saying, Alance at Pasadena made a firm commitment to assist these residents with relocation needs, including helping them identify appropriate care levels, assistance with the management of the move, and the delivery of care records at time of transition. I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan, taking action for you.
It breaks my heart to see with them because it's not fair. It is not fair. I mean, it's one thing to for people that have been living there for a while to say, hey, you know, you got to find somewhere else. But in a retirement home, guys, check this out.
A Mississauga retirement home is permanently shutting down to make room for a private housing development, leaving about 200 seniors scrambling to find a new place to live. But they're not just losing their affordable housing. When a retirement home closes, they also lose their care. Joyce Dodge has lived in her one-bedroom apartment at Chartwell Heritage Glen for 20 years. Joyce, who will celebrate her 92nd birthday next week, has regular access to a doctor and pharmacy on site, but doesn't require assisted living.
I do my own cooking and baking. I do my own housework, own laundry. I do my own everything. But I'm very happy here.
Last Tuesday, my mom called and said 2 women were at the door and gave her a notice of eviction. And I thought, well, that can't be right.
Joyce received this notice to end her tenancy. telling her the property is being sold to a private developer and she would have to move out by the end of July.
We were all shocked. Everybody you look at, you can see they're worried.
The developer has plans to renovate the residence and redevelop it into traditional rental units for all ages. Chartwell told City News in a statement, the aging infrastructure of the buildings has made it unsustainable to continue operations as a retirement residence. It added, a team of consultants is providing personalized support to help residents find new housing options while covering all costs related to relocation, along with moving expenses.
We want a lateral move. If you're moving her, it's the same size and the same price.
For Joyce's daughter, Karen Santaguida, who lives nearby, location is one concern. Another is skyrocketing rent. Joyce currently pays around $1,600 per month for her unit.
Did I tell you they sent an apartment yesterday to look at?
But Karen's biggest worry is finding a room in a seniors building with the same supports and that will allow her mom to continue living independently. So far, she's been sent nothing of the sort.
There's over 200 people in here who are in the same boat. Some may be ready for long-term care, but a lot aren't. Where are they going to go?
Can see the toll that this has taken on you.
Yeah, it's hard, but we keep it positive, and for some reason things work out in the end, so I'm hoping the same thing.
Retirement homes are only required by law to give 3 months notice before they close, but families here say they could use more time, and they've described the measures that Chartwell has put in place to help them with the transition process as the bare minimum. For City News, I'm Karen Seolin.
Man, that is heartbreaking, guys. It doesn't make sense. And if you think that was the worst of it, guys, it gets even worse. Check this out. Like, I'm telling you, this is why November 5th is such an important day, because we can't keep allowing this to happen.
New at 6, several senior citizens say they've received letters threatening evictions from their Northwest Atlanta apartments over recent late fees. Those residents claim they're being bullied by their management company and squeezed for cash that they simply do not have. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has the story from the Oasis at Scholars Landing.
They sent me a letter, a threatening letter, first of all, and indicated that I owed a certain amount of rent, and I was behind. They told me they wanted me out the next day by 10 a.m.
75-year-old Sanja Reddick was frightened by what she calls a threat to evict her from her apartment here at Oasis at Scholars Landing in Northwest Atlanta. The disabled retiree says she has lived here for 7 years and always makes sure her rent is current.
My rent is auto pay. That means they take it out the bank before I even see my check. When my Social Security come in, they take my rent and my water bill together.
Fellow resident Reginald Jones had the same problem. He showed us his eviction letter, and he too has always paid his rent on time.
I have direct withdrawal every month on the 3rd, and they've been drawing my money out late and charging me late fees without giving me any kind of information.
More and more seniors living in the federally subsidized building started telling us the same thing.
When I went in and talked with her, she said I had 4 months late fee. I said, what? When? How?
Why you got to pay a late fee, Mom? I said, your rent is automatically taken out of your account.
We reached out to the Integral Group, which owns the apartments. A spokesperson told us there are 60 residents in the building and only 20 received evict letters. Integral says they sent electronic invoices for the rent shortages on the residents' Rent Cafe accounts. They also said they had face-to-face conversations with all residents in arrears, which the tenants we talked to vehemently deny. Resident Reddick has a suggestion.
If they're in the wrong, then they should come clean and pay me my money back.
Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Time now for...
It's scary, guys, when you're in that predicament, because it's something that seniors should not be forced to lose their home. They shouldn't be forced they should be getting these evicted letters. I mean, what are they going to do?
Eliane Bouchard never thought she'd have to move again. But in just over a month, the 91-year-old will be packing up her studio apartment for another seniors home.
I'm broken. I'm very broken. And I need help. H-E-L-P.
The cost of her current place is going up by almost $1,000 per month. Bouchard is one of 3 tenants of a retirement residence in Ottawa who says their monthly fees are skyrocketing.
My pension is $2,900. And I knew about 4 years to stay here. I won't have any more saving.
Their landlord, Alavita Lifestyles, is removing what it calls a marketing discount promised to some tenants when they first moved in, but not included on the lease a timeline for how long it would last or what the discount covers. While most rent increases in Ontario are regulated, that rule doesn't apply to fees like those for meals and other services at seniors' residences.
I just felt like my world had dropped out.
80-year-old Catherine Elliott says she also has no choice to move, her rent and her service package increasing by over $1,000 a month.
I cannot possibly stay here with that kind of a price.
I live on a pension, right? I don't have that kind of money to throw around.
82-year-old Penny Eccles says she has no plans to pay the extra costs and is seeking legal advice. Experts say that fight might be a tough one.
It's very important that the tenant read any agreement put before them very carefully and make sure that they understand the rent that's being charged and what is included in that rent.
Officials with Alavita Lifestyle say those discounts were never supposed to be permanent. Adding with those rental restrictions, it needs other ways of raising revenue to keep up with inflation. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Ottawa.
That guys, that is heartbreaking. And, you know, you think that as the situation that our country in, with all the money that has been sent to Ukraine, and that we would find some system, some avenue, or even create some law that prevents a lot of these companies from just kicking people out on the streets. Guys, check this out.
Well, a Decatur mother is without a home this holiday season after falling on hard times. A Metro Atlanta realtor said had she had known her rights, she may have had more time to get some help. Teresa Bowles is live with us in studio tonight with her story.
Yeah, Jamie Godfrey says she wishes she would have looked more into her property management's background because now she's facing the consequences. And every time she takes a step forward, there's another obstacle.
Like most single mothers, Jamie Godfrey is just trying to make ends meet. This holiday, she had to break her daughter and son's heart.
I did have to explain to my kids that I won't be able to do Christmas this year because trying to pay for a place to stay is taking everything I got.
Godfrey had a home in Decatur. She says she was working 2 jobs but had to let one go to be there for her children. Then her wages were being garnished due to a medical bill. She got behind on her rent and was up for eviction. As if that wasn't enough,
the renters wanted to sell the property and they gave us not even a good 2-week notice that we had to be out of the property.
I showed Godfrey's lease to a realtor.
There was one section in the lease that I would probably not tell my clients to sign.
Whitney Hanna explains that the agreement basically says if Godfrey is ever late on rent, the lease automatically terminates.
I typically don't see that clause in the contract. Usually there's some way for you to catch up on rent.
Godfrey says she decided to pay back rent in hopes of saving her home, but no luck. And now properties are denying her left and right.
We've been hopping around from here to there, hotel to hotel. My child had to sit in the car. Then I have to leave and go pick up the other one. I have to leave and find, somewhere for us to sleep.
Hannah says renters have to get evicted through the court system, which may have given Godfrey more time to look for additional housing. Hannah says most renters don't know their rights. Her tips: have an attorney or realtor look over the lease agreement so that you can ask questions later.
I know you're excited to get the keys and everything, but you need to take your time, read through the entire contract, because once you sign, you sign.
I reached out to Godfrey's property management multiple times, no response. Hannah says there are second chance programs programs for people like Godfrey. For now, Godfrey says Blessing Bags of Warmth, a women's shelter, is helping her. She set up an online fundraiser. If you'd like to help, we have it linked on 11alive.com.
And we certainly hope the community can come together and help her find a permanent home. Teresa, thank you.
Ridiculous, guys. That is heartbreaking. If you think that was heartbreaking, I literally have something for you. It's devastating because it doesn't listen, I know many of you guys have heard the conversations between the president, who should be president, and the debates and the arguments. But at the same time, while we hear that we've got the best economy in the world, while we hear that so many jobs have been created and all, this is stuff that we don't hear about.
She always loved having her hair done.
Brian Wilson's mother, Vera, always hated the cold.
Winters.
Outside in the cold.
I don't want another person, another family member, to have a police officer come and say your mother or your father died because they froze to death, because they left the building, and regardless, in the middle of the afternoon, middle of the night, and froze. And I don't want that to happen to anyone else.
Guys, what happened is his mother had stepped outside trying to do something and ended up freezing and out of the retirement home, guys. And it's just hard that that's happening right here in our own country. It's heartbreaking, guys, but at the same time, why aren't these things being talked about?
An estimated 12,000 tenants in Atlanta who are behind on rent have gotten eviction letters.
A housing official asked Atlanta City Council members to find a way to help. Fox 5's Morris Diggs explains the evictions have restarted after a pause during the pandemic.
If you've ever had a family member who's been evicted, well, the financial strain they face, that's obvious. But there's also an emotional burden. For example, when a school-aged child is pulled out of the classroom, the parents got to find another place, or worse, a shelter. You don't have to fall into the legion of poverty to have all your belongings put out on the street because you got way behind on the rent.
Filings have ramped up the mounting number of evictions in Fulton and DeKalb counties.
This Atlanta Housing Commission official estimates 12,000 tenants have been or are now under an eviction threat. The pause on legal filings did not erase a rent balance, and being forced from the home can turn lives upside down.
And have to move out of their school districts, right? Can't attend the same school. That disruption is a huge inhibitor for educational attainment for kids.
This is the first time they got me down for eviction.
A senior living in this large complex has a different circumstance. Veronica Showers explained to her landlord about a series of personal setbacks.
I do security. I worked every day, but it's like I was just working for nothing. Every time I got paid, they went in, they was getting the loans.
How many months are you behind?
Lord have mercy, 11,000 something.
Andrew Sneggenberger said late fees and other charges keep residents even further behind. He says new government assistance is needed.
And it's good practice to make sure that the two branches of government are working in coordination to make sure that we're spending money as well as we can.
One of the members, Antonio Lewis, reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million, that was intended for housing. From Northeast Atlanta, I'm Morris Diggs, Fox 5 News.
Listen, guys, it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. It doesn't seem to be looking like things are going to change at all. But we're hoping and praying that things pick up, that as time goes on, our nation gets back to the best interest rates ever, our economy becomes even stronger, and that people have a better chance of making it, putting a roof over their head, taking care of the bills, making sure there's food on the table, and taking care of the kiddos. And while we know that there's a lot of controversy, wars going on, we hope and pray that things one day get back to normal. Guys, you've been a great audience. Thank you so much for watching. Your love, support mean the world. I know it's a little late tonight, but thank you so much for hanging with us. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't joined the family. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow in the next one. Thank you, and God bless.